What is up, you guys? We are back today to take a little break from our Daily Unleash series through the podcast. And today we're actually going to talk about how to lose belly fat with food. That's the title of the podcast. I was going to make a full video, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make this short and sweet and concise, and let's get to the point. You know, I've been asked a lot lately about what I eat and how can I lose this belly fat, you know, with women, especially if you start to get in that little middle-age section or middle age and we gain the weight in our midsection as we age. And we're like, wait a minute, I never used to hold a lot of weight here and I feel bloated every time I eat, like all these things. Let me just start with, you already know this, but we cannot target fat, okay? But what we can target is muscle. So starting with the belly, know right away, you know, I get asked in class, how can I get these abs? How can I make my abs just nice and firm, and I want abs? I want to just let you know that you have abs. If you start with the belly and think about it, every single person has abs. And if you think about the booty, because I got some people that are like, I really want to lift my booty. It's gone to like pancake, clipboard. You can't see my booty anymore. Where did it go? Everybody has glutes. And again, we can't target fat, but we can target muscle. So if everybody has abs and everybody has glutes, it's the layer of the fat on top that determines your body fat and how lean you are. So in order to lose body fat with food, we can't necessarily target the belly fat. I know, don't get upset with me. I didn't make us like this, but I just need you to understand a very simple way of thinking about it, because with all the health gurus out there, it gets really complex and you can get very, you know, scientific and get down to all the nitty gritty. But for me, I just like to keep it simple. Like, let me understand how the body works, and then I'll come up with a solution that works for my body and hopefully most of my ladies out there, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s and even 60s. We have to keep that muscle lean. So we can't target the belly fat, but what can we do, Heather? Give me some good news, right? Okay, we're going to call it a combo. You're going to have to do a combination of a few things in order to see your abs and to increase the glutes or whatever your goal might be. So let's just chop it down into 3 little bubbles. Okay, we're going to call this a 3-bubble combo. Just remember that, number 1, we need to cut out highly processed foods. And I know this is easier said than done, but the way that I've always coached my team and the way that we have broken that bad cycle of just, I don't know, whatever you have on your shelf, be it Cheez-Its, be it potato chips, be it Doritos, be it cheese balls, be it, I don't know. I don't know what kind of highly processed foods, macaroni and cheese, anything basically in a box, you want to try and make a very minimum part of your pantry. So if you open up your pantry and every single thing in there is in a box, I want you to just be aware that if you flip it over and you read the ingredients and some of the things you're like, I don't know what that is, I can't say it, I can't pronounce it, know that that's something that's artificial. That's something that's made in a factory. That is something that is highly processed. And I go into this a lot deeper in the 7-Day Sugar Detox. That's why I wrote the book. It is the best way to help you purge that pantry. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at barnesandnoble.com. But if you go to sugardetox7.com, you can find all the options, right? There's a hardback, there's a softback. This is not to promote my book. It really is part of the reason that I wrote the book, because I kept getting asked, and in the beginning of my journey, I was like, how can we make this simple? How can we just make this really easy? Because when your body is used to eating highly processed foods, it's very difficult to just cut it out altogether. And I remember at the beginning of my journey, I would always say, well, I can't get rid of the goldfish and the Doritos because my kids like that. And then to look back and think, why was I putting that as my kids' option? When they were kids, they didn't know any better. I should not have been giving them that. But when I grew up, that's just what you did. You had a little sandwich for lunch and you had some chips to go with it, maybe some grapes. It looked balanced per se, but we always wanted that little crunch. And again, highly processed foods are not always the chips and the junk food that stands out very clear. It's pretty much anything in a box. So just take an inventory of your pantry and know that number one, what we want to do is to cut out highly processed foods. And we're not going to be able to do this cold turkey overnight, but it would be really awesome if you could just start replacing things and making small changes. And maybe if the pantry is full of boxes, that you try to eliminate, count them all, and try to eliminate 50% of them and replace them with other things. Maybe more fruit, vegetables, things that would be in the refrigerator, and even canned vegetables, or canned tuna or canned chicken breast. Those type of things. If you're like, I need something in my pantry, I can't just have an empty pantry, of course, but just try replacing maybe the Doritos with a low salted pretzel. You know what I mean? Little bitty changes at a time. We don't want to go balls to the wall, change everything, and then we fall off and we binge. So number one is to cut out highly processed foods. Number two, here we go. Avoid foods with high sugar. And again, my 7-day sugar detox breaks this down, that a lot of people, when they heard I was writing the book and they were like, well, it's a 7-day sugar detox. I don't really eat a lot of chocolate. I don't really eat a lot of sweets. So I don't know that book would be for me. And I thought, oh my gosh, people just think that sugar is only found in sweets. And that's not it at all. The 7-day sugar detox, sugar is the devil. I said this all my life as I was growing up. I'm like, sugar is the devil. I really was referring to the hidden sugars. All the sugars that end in the os, okay? So if you flip over the box again and start just looking at the ingredients and things, when you see a word that ends in OSE, be it glucose, sucrose, there's a ton of them. They're called the sneaky sugars. They're called the hidden sugars. They're in the foods that you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, that's got sugar in it. That's really high in sugar. All the cereals, a lot of yogurts, a lot of things that you may be thinking that you're doing really good, but it's got these sneaky sugars in them. Again, the 7-day sugar detox, I have a whole list in there of all the sneaky sugars, all the silent sugars, and a lot of them are found, unfortunately, in bread. So be careful the type of bread that you're buying. My family, we usually stick to Ezekiel bread. We keep it in the fridge. And also the Dave's bread. We get the little skinny, thin sliced, I believe it's called. It's the one in the green package. So those are two options if you want to try and switch your bread, because there's a lot of sugar. What happens in bread is when you eat bread and the body stores the bread, I'm not going to break all this down, but basically know that when you look at a piece of bread, know that it has hidden sugars in it. And then number 3, talking about bread here, we're going to cut out refined carbs. So I'm not going to get too deep into refined carbs. That's also explained really in depth in the 7-day sugar detox. I hope you will try it. Just ask yourself, it's hard every day to just be like, hey, look, I'm going to purge the pantry and I'm going to get out all the processed foods. I'm going to take out all the foods with high sugar, and I'm going to take out all the refined carbs. Your family's going to be like, what is wrong with you? We have no food. So you can't go, like I said, we don't want to just make all these changes overnight because that's how we set ourselves up for failure. But what we do want to do is just make some small changes and ask yourself, what can I replace this bread with? Maybe even going from a white bread to a wheat bread, but be careful with the wheat. Some of them are not any better. So just compare. When you're in the grocery, pick up 2 options and just go with the one that looks to be a little bit healthier with less of the processed items in it, also less sugar, and be careful of the sodium. You want to cut out all those refined carbs, or as most of them as we can. Just choose better options. So just ask yourself, where can you cut out one thing this week? When you start to fuel your body better, you'll start to feel so much better. And then when you go to eat the things that you've kind of cut out, your body starts telling you, like, this is not what I want. This is not what I need. I'm going to store this and make you feel really bloated because I don't really know what to do with it. It's not really fuel. So an example, the best example that I can give you is, let's just say you wake up for breakfast. You wake up and you go to eat breakfast and you eat a bagel with cream cheese, a yogurt, maybe a little bowl of cereal, something you thought was healthy, right? Cheerios or Special K. And in the cereal, you've got milk. So I don't know what percentage milk if you're a dairy drinker. Whole milk, you could also go down to maybe 1%. And orange juice. So that sounds like a well-balanced, awesome breakfast, but if you break down all the sugars, all the hidden things in those items, it depends on what yogurt you're eating, depends on what type of orange juice you're drinking, depends on the milk in your cereal, depends on the sugar in that cereal. Some of these things are marketed on the shelves as if they're low fat and if they're good for you. But you flip it over and it's full of hidden sugars. And then you're wondering, well, why am I not losing weight? If anything, I feel more bloated than I did before. So just understanding that we want to be on the lookout for highly processed foods. Always try to shop the perimeter of the grocery. I give you a full grocery list in the 7-Day Sugar Detox. It's 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil by Heather Newman on Amazon and also on Barnes & Noble. Try to avoid foods with high sugar, and that doesn't just mean cupcakes and cookies and donuts. It doesn't. It means all the other hidden sugars. Those are the ones that I want to educate you on. Those are the ones that I talk about in the book. And again, I give you a full grocery list in the book that tells you these are the things we should be, replacing all the other things with. And then cut out those refined carbs. So those are the 3 things I'm going to call the combo that you want to keep in mind when you're purging or starting to replace things in order to try and target that belly fat. Although we can't necessarily target, we can target the muscle. So continue to work out with me at toneandtone.com, or you can get a free workout program with me at glitteru.com. I've got some new workouts that I've been putting up on Heather at the Bar on YouTube. So join me over there, subscribe. These are the things that will get you to your goals. And just ask yourself, where can you cut out one thing this week? When you start to fuel your body better, you will start to feel like $1,000,000. And I'm not just saying that. You'll start to understand, like, wow, I've been eating so clean, and then I just had, a regular sandwich on that white bread again, and I haven't been drinking as much water, and your body will show. It will fluctuate. You're going to feel inflamed. So I want you to start feeling like $1,000,000. So I want you to start fueling your body better. And the way we're going to do that is cut out highly processed foods. We're going to avoid foods with high sugar, and we're going to cut out the refined carbs. So I've got a little meal program that I share with my team, and it's a simple way. It's a 5-day 2-to-1 meal program, and it is where we have 2 shakes a day and 1 healthy meal. for 5 days. And it's a great way to jumpstart that metabolism, get rid of some of that inflammation in the body, and just start to have more energy and just feeling so much better, because when you fuel your body right, you'll start to feel better. So if you're interested in the 5-day 2-to-1 meal program, it's 2 shakes, 1 healthy meal, then I'll drop the information in the show notes. And you can also just make sure you are subscribed to glitteru.com, and you can click on the nutrition tab there and you'll be able to find the program. All right, you guys, I hope you found this helpful. Again, we cannot target fat, but we can target muscle. So get that body moving. We want to meditate and or move our bodies every single day. And I hope you found this helpful on how to lose belly fat with food, right? All right, you guys, I will talk to you next time. Have a great day. Love ya.